There's this idea floating around that some people are emotionally mature and others aren't. That if you get upset about things or react strongly to situations, you probably need to work on yourself. Get some therapy. Learn to regulate your emotions better. What a load of crap. The whole concept is designed to make you more manageable, to turn your natural responses into problems that need fixing, to convince you that if you're upset about something, the issue is with your emotional development, not with whatever's upsetting you. Remember what you were like as a kid before anyone taught you to question your reactions. When something hurt, you cried. When you were pissed off, you showed it. When something made you happy, you didn't check if your joy was appropriate first. You just felt things and expressed them. But natural emotional responses are unpredictable. They might lead you to say no when someone wants you to say yes, or leave when they need you to stay. So the system gets to work breaking that natural flow. Maybe it's through constant criticism, maybe neglect, maybe outright abuse. Doesn't matter how. The point is to rewire your emotional system so it stops responding to what you actually feel and starts responding to what others want you to feel. Your brain adapts because that's what brains do. It learns that authentic expression is dangerous, so it creates new pathways designed to keep you safe in hostile environment. This isn't dysfunction, just survival. Now you're walking around with emotions that don't quite fit normal situations. You freeze when you should speak up. You explode over small things because your nervous system is stuck in survival mode. You feel anxious in safe situations because your threat detection system is permanently activated. And instead of seeing this for what it is, the result of systematic abuse, they rebrand it as a flaw. They call your survival code immaturity. They insist you need to grow up emotionally, that healthy people don't react the way you do. They've taken the evidence of what was done to you and flipped it into proof that something's wrong with you. Enter the massive industry of emotional management. Therapists, coaches, and self-help gurus all ready to help you become emotionally intelligent, to teach you emotional regulation and distress tolerance. But notice what they're not offering to do: address the root cause. They're not helping you recognize the programming or get away from what's still programming you. They're teaching you to manage your conditioned responses more politely. It's like breaking someone's leg, then shaming them for limping, and selling them expensive courses on proper walking technique. What does their version of emotional maturity actually look like? According to them, mature emotions are always under control, never overwhelming, expressed only in socially acceptable ways, convenient for others, predictable. You know what that describes? Dead emotions. Emotions that have been so processed and managed that they're barely emotions anymore. Real emotions are messy. They're proportional to what's actually happening, not to what's socially convenient. They respond to threats with appropriate intensity. They celebrate good things without asking permission first. Since their standard is impossible because it's not based on actual emotional health, you'll never reach it, and they use that failure as proof you need more help. Still getting angry when people mistreat you? You need anger management. Feel overwhelmed by constant pressure to perform emotional normalcy? Poor stress tolerance. Starting to question whether any of this makes sense? You're resistant to growth. Every natural response to this psychological manipulation gets pathologized and fed back into the system. They've created a perfect business model. Create the problem, then profit from managing it forever. I lived in this loop for most of my life. It was an inescapable pit. The most maddening part was that I couldn't apply logic to anything. There simply wasn't any logic there. Not in the therapies, not in the lectures about emotional growth, nowhere. And you're drowning in this helplessness while they explain that this reaction is also immature. The whole concept of emotional maturity exists to make you easier to abuse, to convince you that the problem isn't people treating you badly, it's your reaction to being treated badly. It pathologizes healthy anger, appropriate fear, and natural boundaries. It teaches you to doubt your own perceptions and to prioritize other people's comfort over your own well being. Most importantly, it keeps you focused on fixing yourself instead of recognizing that you're surrounded by people and systems that are actually fucked up. Real emotional health isn't about control. It's about responsiveness. It's about trusting your emotions as information about what's actually happening, rather than treating them as problems to be solved. Sometimes that means getting angry when anger is warranted. Sometimes it means feeling sad about genuinely sad things. Sometimes it means feeling joy without performing it for others' approval. It means recognizing that your difficult emotions might be the only sane response to an insane situation, that your overreactions might be totally appropriate reactions to people who've been systematically minimizing your reality. You can't fix programming by learning to manage it better. You fix it by recognizing what installed it and getting away from what's still installing it. You can't become emotionally mature by following their rules because their rules aren't designed to make you healthy. They're designed to make you compliant. The system will never tell you this because it needs you to keep believing that your authentic responses are problems, that your resistance to mistreatment is immaturity, that your refusal to accept unacceptable behavior is something you need to work on. Stop trying to be emotionally mature by their definition. Start trusting that your emotions might actually know what they're doing.